There would be just a few of the 680 million or so users of Skype around the world who would know the company was created in Estonia. Now owned by Microsoft, its business model may well be changing. Well, one of the leading architects of Skype, Jaan Tallinn, is still involved with the company. He's in Australia this week and I spoke to him earlier. Jaan Tallinn, welcome to the programme.
Thank you.
Now, Skype is less than a decade old and obviously has been a mega success. What made Estonia in 2003 the right place for a startup like Skype?
One lucky thing about Estonia is that once the occupation ended, we didn't have much good infrastructure left from the Soviet Russia. So we had to rebuild everything. And if you rebuild everything in the 90s, you get to use the advantage of internet. And thereby you get much more modern infrastructure.
Now, of course, last year Skype was sold to Microsoft for $8.5 billion. You can't have dreamed that it ever would have been as successful as this. Otherwise, you fellas wouldn't have sold it so early, would you?
Yeah, sure. Well, there is always this risk-reward calculation that you have to perform. Once it was clear that Skype was successful, all the big American internet companies went after it and started developing their own versions.
Now, do you think that Skype is the right fit for Microsoft? Because very recently Microsoft has revealed a $6.3 billion write-down for a quantitative. At the time last year that it was bought, there were analysts saying a better fit would have been Facebook or Google.
Skype has done some cooperation with Facebook, so yes, there probably would have been a fit there. On the other hand, I see that Microsoft is also trying to redefine itself in a world that's increasingly more mobile. So I definitely see ways how it can create a benefit from Skype there.
Skype, of course, was famous for being a free service. What is the business model of Skype? How does it make its money?
During the early days, it really was like I say, Skype used to have like three big killer products. First one was just audio, like computer-to-computer audio. The third one was video. It was really, it took us all by surprise how popular the video became. But the middle one was actually sort of less known. It's computer to like regular telephone network communications, and they are paid for. So actually Skype, when I left Skype, Skype was like a $1 billion company already based on those revenues alone.
There is, I think, now some integration of Skype into the Microsoft world, things like its mobile phone 8. But I'm just wondering, there were also mutterings about introducing advertising on Skype as a revenue generator. Do you think that would be a good thing, or do you think it would lose customers?
I remember there were long discussions about that, and there were some calculations done, etc., etc. But and we kept postponing the moment of introducing advertising. But the world is changing, so it's hard for me to say that is the time right now. There are some benefits for advertising, like you asked me, like Skype is perceived as a free service, so people might get suspicious. So how come it can be free? But if they see advertising, they might be relieved, actually.
You, of course, are now an investor in your own right in the IT space. What sort of projects attract you?
What we are looking there actually is a mix of like Eastern European companies that have global ambition. And one thing is that the reason why we're focusing in Eastern Europe is that it would be silly for us to try to compete with US investors in Silicon Valley. And the other reason is just to Eastern Europe is nice in the sense that it's small enough for people to actually start with global ambition, because like if you don't have global ambition, you're going to remain small.
Jaan Tallinn, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.